The super fight is upon us. King Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, the catchweight fight. Lots to talk about. Now, you didn't think Bwtm Sports wasn't gonna do a big fight preview, did you? You would have been sadly mistaken. Let's get into this one on Bwtm Sports Gaming. Don't go anywhere. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to those of you listening to Bwtm Sports Gaming. Glad you could join us. If you haven't subscribed already, do smash the subscribe button. If you're subscribed already, make sure you turn on the notification bell so that you get all our latest videos and can be notified when we go live. So, Gervonta Tank Davis versus King Ryan Garcia. This is one of those fights. I haven't watched all access, not getting swayed by all access. But what I will say is this. A lot of hypocrisy going on in boxing, and a lot of people seem to suffer from amnesia. They've made a big thing about Gervonta Davis and making Ryan Garcia the dehydration, rehydration clause. Big things been made of it. But wait, when Manny Pacquiao was doing it, nobody talks about it. When De La Hoya fought Pacquiao, weight drained. When De La Hoya fought Mayweather and put him with Mayweather, made Mayweather move up to fight him. What about that? There's so many fights in boxing where there's been weight drain or people have been pulled up in weight. What about when Hopkins fought Kelly Pavlik? Kelly Pavlik was a career super middleweight. He made his name as a super middleweight champion, beating the Ghost, remember? Kelly Pavlik. He made his name knocking out Jermaine Taylor at the time. Jermaine Taylor at the time was undisputed middleweight champion. So he pulls Kelly Pavlik up for middleweight, I believe, up to light heavyweight to fight him. All right? So let us not go down the road of, well, Gervonta Davis and his think tank and his team are doing, pardon the expression, think tank, but they're doing what they have to do to protect their fighter. That's what they're doing here, right? And for any fight in boxing, let's be brutally honest here. If these guys are getting in the ring and fight, they may weigh in, say like Canelo, for example, brilliant example, Canelo. He may be fighting at middleweight, yeah? And he may weigh in on the 160 pounds of middleweight limit. But by the time Canelo gets in a ring, fight night, he's near around 175 or 180. So you're really fighting on the night. It's scheduled to be a middleweight fight. But on the night, you're fighting a guy who's a light heavyweight or arguably a cruiserweight. So it's nothing new in boxing. So I don't really want to hear about the whole rehydration, dehydration clause, because that's what it is. That's what King Ryan Garcia signed up for. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way boxing is. You know, when you're the B-side, these things happen. That being said, this is, the good thing about being in media, and people within media like who've been close to Ryan Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia, from inside information in the past, has starved himself, literally being gaunt or come near weigh-in time before fights because he wasn't doing the weight correctly. Yeah. So that's what I know as a fact. It's not a hearsay. Fact. People who are very close to Ryan Garcia, who are very close to me, who've worked with Ryan Garcia, have told me this information previously. So it's another situation where Garcia has to make the sacrifice. Now, when you're making fights like this, we have to understand that the Ryan Garcia that fought in his previous fight, it's not the Ryan Garcias that's going to show up in this fight. It's not going to happen. So that guy you saw with the left hook knocking guys out, he's moved up in weight now. He doesn't fight this weight anymore. He's moved up in weight. So that's why they've dragged him back down. Okay. So he's not going to have the same strength or the same firepower and have the same comfortability as he would fighting Gervonta Davis. Because think about this. So now, if you listen to an interview that was done yesterday at ESPN after the weigh-in, Gervonta Davis kind of made it clear. He said, you can't eat. You can't eat. Whereas Gervonta Davis can eat what the hell he wants because he's moving up. There's a difference. But this guy now, Ryan Garcia, is going to be depleted. So he cannot bulk up and rehydrate like the way he normally would do in fights, which gives him the physical strength and the power and the ability to absorb shots and be able to maneuver in a certain way inside the ring. Now, when Garcia gets into the ring that night and he fights Gervonta Davis, there's lots of things that Ryan Garcia will have to consider, not just worrying about the power of Gervonta Davis now. He's got to think about, have I got enough in my body? Has my body's now depleted? Have I got the stamina to go 12 rounds? Can I ship big punches? Can I take big punches? When he fought Luke Campbell, he was hydrated. He was well hydrated. The rehydration clause was not in there the same way for Luke Campbell because that was lightweight to lightweight, right? This is different. So you already are starving yourself and you can't eat overnight. So that's been a long time since he had to do that. So that's going to bring him in weak. Now, I don't know if you missed the trick or not, right? But do you know why Tank Davis pushed Ryan Garcia? He pushed Ryan Garcia because he wanted to know how strong Garcia was at the time. It's all mind games. He pushed Garcia to see, he touched him to see, let me push you to see how strong you physically are, how much I've drained you. That's why he did that. There's another little trick they do in boxing as well. When you want to get to somebody, to find out the reach of somebody, you stand up from them and then you push them. So you know the length of the individual. So you get to know about the length of the individual before you actually get in the ring with them. Little old school tricks like that. So they know exactly the length of a guy before they actually go in and fight them. So they don't get caught, literally get caught going in there again and say, this guy's got a longer reach than I thought. No, you've figured that out in a strategic way to either get close to the guy, up close to the guy, or at distance with him. So Davis would have felt or would have known about Garcia's strength at press conferences where he's got up close to Garcia. He's got up close. He knows about Garcia's strength. He also knows about him from distance. Now, let's also be noted that if you've seen sparring sessions with Garcia in the past, when guys get on top of Garcia, he seems disorganized, doesn't seem to know what to do. Now, I've known people that have actually who've sparred Garcia, right? One of these guys that doesn't mind the fight at distance where he can chop the jab and pop the right hand and throw the left hook and be in control. It's okay at that distance. But when you get on his chest and get up close, don't want it, don't like it, doesn't know what to do. And I haven't seen anything in lead-up fights to this fight with Tank Davis that makes me feel any more convinced that he's developed that much of a fighter that when Gervonta Davis closes the gap and starts to get inside, that Garcia is going to be able to deal with it. You see, Garcia's team missed a trick. They should have fought Isaac Pitbull because Isaac Pitbull would have prepared Garcia to face someone with the same sort of energy, the same sort of will bring the same sort of fire to you. And if you can come for a fight like that against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, if you can come for a fight like that, a guy's similar height to Gervonta Davis, but a little more aggressive, hasn't got the same sort of one-punch knockout power, but can cause you a lot of problems. If you can get past a fight like that, that prepares you for a guy like Tank Davis. Because I know Tank's a southpaw, but it still prepares you in fighting guys that are shorter, that's coming at you. Not guys that are short, that's coming at you, that don't have punching power, or don't have the footwork, or don't have the mentality, or don't have winning records, or not really out there to cause you real damage. The guys that Ryan Garcia's fought have been guys he could time with that left hook, bang, hit my left hook, or knock him out and look good. It's the guys that get up close, up in his space, that there, or as they say in America, all up in my Kool-Aid, that there. And that's going to be a test for Ryan Garcia. A, is he going to have the physical strength to keep Tank Davis off him? Has Tank Davis and his team weakened Garcia enough? Because where Tank will win this fight, as far as I'm concerned, is when Garcia's back touches those ropes. I always talk about fighters' back touching the ropes. Because once a fighter's back is against the ropes, and a guy like Garcia, who I don't think fights particularly well with his back against the ropes, that's where I feel there's going to be a problem. So Garcia's going to have to do a lot of tying up, a lot of holding, and again, that will drain him as well. Tank Davis is going to want to get right up inside of Garcia as soon as possible. He's not going to take this fight a distance. So he's not giving him a chance to land that left hook. So for Tank Davis, his safest spot is in the inside, right up on Garcia's chest, working the body, working the head. Whereas for Garcia, he's going to want to take the fight, keep the fight at distance, use the jab, control the distance, and hit Tank with something early. If the only thing in this fight that it doesn't make Tank a surefire knockout win over Garcia inside the distance, right? And I'm talking inside the first 5 rounds, yeah? The only thing that can change his fight is if Ryan Garcia, despite them draining him, has enough physical strength in that left hook and enough power in that jab to keep Gervonta Davis quiet. If you can't hit him and hurt him with a left hook or right hand or stop him in his tracks, this fight is going to get ugly very quickly. And I do sense a lot of the bully boy in Gervonta Davis. I do sense a lot of that I got your number, man. I know what you are about. And people in the gym know. So it's almost like, to me, this fight is like the school bully versus the kid that gets picked on. That's what it looks like to me. That's how I see this fight. And Ryan Garcia is that guy who's trying to stand up and say, you know what? If you come at me, I'm going to let my hands go with you. The difference is between the school bully and Garcia is that the school bully is going to be coming in with all guns blazing, very strong, very fit and ready to go and ready to fight and prepared and attuned. Whereas Garcia, when he lets his hands go, we don't know 2 things. A, if he's got the strength to keep Garcia or to keep Tank off. And the second thing is, when Tank hits him, how he reacts. When you got dropped by Luke Campbell, now it's him well hydrated. When he gets hit by Tank Davis, he's going to wish he didn't sign up for this fight now. That's what I think. I would have not taken this fight now. I would have waited. I would have taken some other fights and get myself in a position where I have more pulling power. And then taking this fight against Tank. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done. I'd rather see Tank go and fight someone like, for example, Lomachenko. smaller, not as much punching power, older, maybe past his prime. That's what I would have seen. So Garcia's not even a world champion yet. Think about that. This fight could ruin him. And you've seen what happened with Chris Eubank Jr. not too long ago, where you drain a guy and then he comes back after that fight. The difference is Ryan's still young. Eubank is in his 30s, which made it more dangerous. Okay, there are people in the comment section. I want to get in there and start chatting to people in the room. Let's go. Davis is going to drop Garcia bad. I'm concerned for Garcia for this fight. I'd love to see Davis get humbled, but I can't see it. Ingram, I really see this being a horrible fight for Garcia. I do too. It's painful. Big up, says Vince Hillary. Big up to you, brother. I see it. Says, hello. Anthony, how you doing, brother? Good to see you in the house. Unless Garcia lands that left hook on Davis's chin. Yeah, well, it's not if he lands it on the chin. It's if he can land it on the chin with A, not getting caught himself, and B, the power that is in that left hook. It's all right hitting people with a left hook that stand right in front of you like idiots and can't box, or stand right in front of you and are tailor-made for you to land the left hook on. If he could lay Isaac Pitbull out with that left hook, then we'd be talking. But I'm not convinced. Ryan's team have sold him short with the weight drain. Most important fight of his career, and they've boiled him down. That's it. That's it. When I saw him at the weight, it was a skeleton of Garcia. He has no fat in his belly at all, and that was not good at all. No, it wasn't. And if you look, he was very weak. To me, he looked weak. That's why Tank got all up in his grill and wanted to push him, because he wanted to see how much strength you actually got, bro. And then you're not going to eat afterwards either. I just see it as a horrible fight for Garcia. Style is all wrong. Tank's going to have him on the ropes all night, I bet. In the rope, in the corners of the rope. Yeah, he's going to bully him. He's going to bully him. He's going to bully him. And he might not have strength to keep him off him. This fight could end early. This fight could end very early. I'm telling you now. I don't know how this is a super fight. Because, like, for me, if two guys are in their prime, both fighting at the same weight, I'd call that super fight. I don't know if this is a super fight. Because you got a guy stripped of all what makes him that caliber, that quality fighter. Can he throw those punches around? Weakened. And if he can, for how many rounds can he do it? Ryan needs to end this early. I don't think Garcia has anything left in him to stand up to Davis' power. Why on earth did he agree to drain himself down that much? Don't know. But it's not good. Good evening, Shook. Good to see you in the room as always, brother. Ingram, do you see in your mind what's going to happen? I picture Garcia getting caught bad. I just see him getting hit. It's like hitting a skeleton with no flesh. I see it ending bad. I really do. I'm concerned about Garcia's health. I really am. Because you're meeting a fearsome puncher with a guy who's going to have less water on his brain. So when the brain shakes and it's dehydrated, that's where the damage is done, because there's less water on the brain. So that brain's rocking around. But when you've got water, when you're hydrated and you get hit with a shot, you've at least got water in the brain. When you've got no water in the brain, right, or less water in the brain, you're dehydrated and you get hit with them shots and the brain is shaking, that's a problem. That makes this fight dangerous. Flush. Garcia's not even a credible prospect yet for him to be taking this fight. That's what I'm saying. I think the rehydration clause has actually backfired on them. Garcia looked well nourished on the scales and had breakfast the morning off. Yes, but did you hear Gervonta Davis that night? We're saying, you can't eat, man. You can't eat. You can't eat. You can't eat, he kept saying. Imagine that. So you're hydrating now. You're saying he looks well nourished. But again, he gets up in the morning or he goes to bed tonight and he can't eat because he's got to weigh in the next day. Remember, he's got to weigh in again. Just remember that. And your body is used to a certain ways. Your body's used to certain things. Do you understand? Like Canelo's used to draining his body to make the weight and then having 24 hours or whatever to put that weight back on. Do you understand? And rehydrate and then go way over, ballooning over. That's not the case for Garcia. It's not like he's been doing it all the time. Joe Gooseneck panicking in the corner. Do you know how much Garcia is getting paid for this? I'm not pocket watching, but he must be getting paid well to drain himself to such a dangerous level. He's trying to make the fight happen, he says, but I don't know. Maybe Garcia knows something we don't. Well, like I said, from what I know of Garcia and from what the little birdie is, who was very close to Garcia, very, very close to Garcia, that person used to see Garcia before fights in the hotel room, gaunt. So it's not the first time. And Davis made weight, but he looked smaller than usual. He struggled to make the weight. But he'll be able to rehydrate. Don't worry about that. He'll be able to rehydrate. I think this will be a KR highlight KR reel. I think so. We could be in for a real shock. No, I don't know about that. Garcia has just come back from mental health breakdown. Not good. I do wonder about that mental health breakdown. We've heard a lot about Garcia, his private life, stuff about him gambling. So I don't know. What was Garcia's last fight before this? Well, if you have to ask that question, that tells you all you need to know if you don't know who the guy he fought. Tells you all you need to know. Wasn't it like 2 years ago? Wrong time for the fight. De La Hoya is a terrible handler. Yeah, that's what Ellaby said, that he's always been out to lunch. He's always been asleep. And Canelo put some epic rehydrations. He put on 15 pounds in 25 hours. That's what I'm saying to you. Garcia's left hook won't make a difference. No, it won't make a difference. Not when he's weight drained. Garcia looks fragile in fights. The Campbell fight was not good. There you go. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. But tonight's the night we're all going to know about it, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, the only way I see Garcia winning this fight is by if some miracle, and it would be a miracle, that he's able to defy logic and science, talk about his body and the damage he's putting on his body. I just don't know. Sleep on the wheels, aka you were coked out in rehab. Oh yeah, of course. Garcia's preparation for this fight is off as well. I don't blame Oscar. He actually said that Garcia should have taken a shoot before this fight. Yeah, he warned him. Bro, he's asleep in the gas station, parked up, never mind at the wheel. If Ryan hits him and stays hit, that's the only way. Can't see it. No, nor can I. Do you really want to kick off in the comments, huh? Do you really want that? Because I can. All right, let's just move on to some other interesting points. Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Sounds like that's going to happen in December. Tyson Fury against Kubrat Pulev in June. I believe that'll probably happen as well. That's just the way. You know, Tyson Fury made a lot of statements about Vladimir Klitschko. Talked a lot of rubbish about Vladimir Klitschko and about the people he defended his title against. Look what Tyson's doing now himself. Going out now to buy some munchies. Yeah, spare thought for Ryan Garcia. I agree with you. It would be a miracle if Garcia wins in any whatever fashion. It would be. It's against Garcia. I just think he's going to get flattened. And I'm expecting him to get flattened within the first 5 rounds. I really do. Have you heard about Ruiz? I heard about the Ruiz fight. I heard about the Andy Ruiz fight. But I heard Kubrat Pulev is the guy they're going to put in. I'm in Saudi in December. Sounds good, man. Imagine if Garcia did put Davis away. If he's going to put Davis away it's going to be in the first couple of rounds. If he's going to do it, he's got to do it in the first 3. He's got to. For me, my strategy for Garcia would be this. Listen, you're not built for 12 rounds. Take the center of the ring, back Davis up, and get to hit him hard with a left hook early. Taylor versus Cameron. Let's read this. Taylor versus Cameron will be good, with Taylor losing a step in the last 2 years. This could be a loss for her that would jeopardize the Serrano match. I really want Taylor to win this fight so much. Imagine the nonsense Queensberry are trying and sell the Pule fight with. Yeah, well, people will still accept it. The KSA set up with Wilder, Usyk, Fury, and AJ does sound good. I believe it's going to happen. Ruiz has some major personal problems. Yeah, well, he had major personal problems before. What's going on with him now? Not the Ruiz fight. He's being charged with assault. Wow. Interesting. He's charged with assault. Joe Joyce loses against Zing Zhang. I agree with you. This fight is not going beyond the halfway mark. Davis will be patient to catch him with something big. So, Ingram, you're going to tell him to go straight away. Yep, go straight away. Get on him. Take the center of the ring and try and hit him with as hard as you can on the left hook or your right hand. Set him up. Try and hit him. But don't run into him now. Don't run at Davis, because you'll end up like Rowley. And I knew Rowley was going to get hurt badly because technically he was absolutely, pardon my French, shite. So Garcia's technically better. He's longer. So I'd be telling Garcia, try and get, when you're going to try and hit Davis, hit him at the end. See if you can clip him at the end of your left hook. So you can get his chin at the end of the left hook. So you've got the whole length of you hitting with that left hook. So there's no way Davis can hit you. That's how you got to hit him. You've got to be at length. You've got to be like bow and arrow length and hit him with that left hook. You've got to catch him on the tip of the chin, and it's got to be at distance, and it's got to be within the first 3. That's what I'm telling him to do. Strategically, get Davis, hit him with that left hook. See if you can step back and hit him with that left hook as he comes in. Feint, bring Davis in, hit him with the left hook. Check like that. So you've got to feint him. Lots of feints. Feint. Fake the jab. Let Davis go. Whack him with a left hook. Straight right hand down the level. Come back again with a left hook. But make sure you're doing it at a distance. Do not get too close to the ropes with this guy. Do not let this guy be able to touch you. You've got to teach him like a firework. Keep the left hand out there. Keep him out there and at a distance. Pull with that jab. Keep him out there. Touch him. And he decides to come, shoot the right hand straight down the middle. And tie him up. That's it. That's the only way. That's the only way. Bro, I'm just giving you what I would do if I was in this position. Garcia's time will be off. LOL. I feel sorry for Garcia fans. Yes, his timing will be off. He hasn't fought for a while. And he's going to be coming in with hydration issues. Davis does get tagged in his last few fights. He does get tagged. So if he is going to knock Davis out, I'm talking to you how he would do it. You catch Davis as Davis is jumping in, drop back, shoot the left hook inside. Shoot the left hook. That's how you've got to do it. You've got to take the fight to Davis, though. You cannot. If Garcia, I'm telling you all now, if Garcia backs up early in this fight, if his back foot starts touching the ropes early, this fight could end inside 3 rounds. I'm telling you now. But if Garcia can get onto the front foot and him be the guy making the moves, he's got to be the one initiating the attacks. He's got to be the one controlling the fight. He's got to be the one controlling the output of punches. Because if he's not controlling the output of punches, then that's danger there. Why? Because if you're not, especially when you know you've got a limited amount of energy, you have to control that fight. You literally have to control that fight. Garcia's quick. Garcia is quick, but he's quick when he is not weight drained. He's quick when he hasn't got to do with rehydration issues. Sorry, I mean rape. Wow. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to say something here. I'm not saying he didn't do it, but I'm going to say something that's very suspicious in boxing for me. I believe if you want to get dangerous fighters out of the way, there's ways you can do it. You can get dangerous fighters out of the way. One way you can do it is by setting them up in fights that they've got no way of winning, by not making like that Zhilei Zhang fight. Joyce was on his way to fighting Tyson Fury. He was too big a risk and he's not a ticket seller. So why would you go and fight Zhilei Zhang? For what? He could have fought for a world title anyway. So for me, that Fury fight was there. He was a step away from the Fury fight, and Fury knew it. So Garcia's been pushed to one side. Now, Andy Ruiz and Tyson Fury, he's been put to one side. So what we got now? Usyk's moved to one side. Kubrat Pulev, you see? And Kubrat Pulev doesn't, to me, he's no threat. He's no threat. Garcia has no carbs or fluids in his body to take this beyond 5 rounds. There you go. And with those 4 finally meeting in KSA, we might finally get an undisputed when the dust settles. Yes, it sounds the sort of thing like Don King would have done back in the day in his pomp. Davis takes his time. Garcia needs to jump on him early. Yep, that's it. Bro, but you've got Campbell dropping you and he's not a puncher. Yeah, but you're talking about 2 different styles. Campbell's a counter puncher. Olympic gold, Olympic gold medalist, amateur. Totally different styles. You can't compare Campbell with Tank Davis, and I can't even believe you're mentioning that. Campbell is it's like you saying, well, you know what? The best way to prepare for Tank Davis is to fight Campbell. I don't even know why you bring that fight up. It's not even that fight's not relevant. The fact that that if Tank hits him, he doesn't get up. That's it. So we don't even need to talk about that. I can just see Garcia making a ton of mistakes in there just because he's not a complete boxer. Lead foot, chin up in the air, he throws combos, uneducated jab, and his right hand is undeveloped. Yep, that's it. But that's what he needs to be able to do to win this fight. The whole Davis versus Garcia card is pretty sound. Yep, it sure is. Could Davis be hooking with a hooker which ends up getting caught? No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. If you look at Davis's best punch is that straight left hand. It's straight left hand it is, and the uppercut. No, I don't see that happening. How on earth is Garcia's footwork so poor for one so young in a lower weight class like that? Don't want to listen, I think. Garcia has to be first. Davis is a slow starter. When he tries to put the foot on the gas, that's when Garcia could walk into something coming in. That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. Let's see what it says here. Won't be Ruiz with this allegation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying. So Ruiz is out the way. Joyce is out the way. Usyk's out the way. You got Pulev now. So seems too convenient for me. Well, the Zhang versus Joyce fight was a hatchet job to get Joyce out of the way. That's what I said. I understand what you're saying, Ingram. Look at the house they put Romero through. They did not want to fight for Davis, and Davis was well behind before Romeo miscalculated. Yeah, but Romeo was flawed, completely flawed. So he ran into something nasty. I'm sick of the Tank is draining Ryan nonsense. Ryan has fought 94% of his fights at 130, 35. I think you missed the top of the show and what I was saying. So I will just read your comment and pass it by and keep it moving. If you're a rich man, take a note out of politician book. They deal with two kinds of women: high-end hookers and rich women. The end. Tank is a counter puncher as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me just move on. Bro, nobody cares about Ruiz. you're nobody who cares about Ruiz. I think people will be more happy to see Andy Ruiz fight Tyson Fury than Kubrat Pulev. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Maybe they don't want to fight him until December. Tank's uppercut is like Mike Tyson's punch-out game. Best uppercut in sport. Spoke about it earlier. The dude sold the belts back to Joshua. Absolutely. And I told people about this when I met the people at DAZN. I said it. The train conversation I had on the way going back home when I was still living in the UK. I met a guy and the way he looked and the way he said it, the guy said, we will be getting those titles back. Don't worry about it. I'm like, wow. I thought I was talking to Satan himself. Trust me. Rehydration clause is for both fighters. Like I said before, I don't want to be talking too much about the dehydration clause from the top of the show. What I talked about, I said it's nothing new. Pacquiao's done it. Canelo's done it. You know, Oscar did it. So I don't want to talk about it. It just is what it is. The fact of the matter is, the only reason I'm pointing this out is to say that it is not the same guy that's going to be fighting that fought in his last fight with the same sort of strength and output. That would be that guy is not fighting on Saturday night. That from Ryan Garcia, it's not happening. And anybody who believes that the same Ryan Garcia who fought a year ago or however long ago is going to have the same strength, same power, same tenacity, same sort of energy about him being drained the way he is, sorry, it's not happening. Yeah, Andy Ruiz is capable of beating Wilder, Fury, AJ, obviously, and Usyk as well. That's what I'm saying. He is a threat. Joyce was a threat. Andy Ruiz is a threat. Usyk is a threat. All three of the guys have been moved out of the way. It's amazing how many people listen to propaganda. Hello, do your homework. CLB, when in shape. Yeah, in shape. And in shape, Andy Ruiz could give Tyson Fury a whole heap of problems. In shape. Because if Andy Ruiz gets under that jab and comes up inside and starts working Tyson Fury's body like a piano, I'm telling you, up and down, Andy can do it. Andy's good enough to do it. Andy Ruiz is good enough to do it. And it's not just now I'm talking about it. I told people Andy Ruiz would knock Joshua and how he would do it and when he would do it. I said in the first fight, Joshua will be throwing a combination and he'll get caught over the top with the left hook. And it will be when Joshua's on the attack, he'll get caught with the left hook, and that will be the beginning, the end. I did that preview, I think, hours before the fight. So, just not the same as in the second AJ fight. No. Yes, because Ryan looked like a killer at 140, right? He's not a 140 fighter because he had two out of 26 fights at 140. That's a fact, not an opinion. Yes, but while you're talking that fact, while he was down in that weight class and up in that weight class, he was not we don't know the full stipulation of hydration and rehydration. In those fights, he was not fighting Tank Davis. In those fights, he was the A fighter, not the B fighter. So we can't use that example there and compare Ryan Garcia's situation and comfortability when he was the A side in a fight against guys who were B sides. In now a fight, he's a B side fighter fighting an A side fighter, being given stipulations, what you will do, what weight you will come in at what time you will do this, and what time you'll do that. It's not just the hydration, rehydration I'm concerned about. It's the other things, when you can eat and when you cannot eat. Yeah? It's those other things. Fury at this stage doesn't want back-to-back hard fights. He's taking enough damage from those Wilder knockdowns. I would not surprised if he's got a dark spot in his brain. Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to be taking back-to-back fights after what the Wilder fights. That's enough for me. So, yeah. Yup, amen. You did call that Ruiz KO. No, it's because his body is growing and stated why he's growing up and needs to move up, but would come down for an epic fight. That's why it's important to state that point. Yeah, of course. Of course, it's important to state the point that he's coming down for the fight, but he's not, Ryan Garcia is not coming down for this fight. There's a difference between coming down for this fight and you're the A fighter coming down for the fight. You're not the A fighter. You're not even a world champion. You're coming down, and when you come down, literally, you're being told when you have to weigh in, what you can eat, what you can't eat. I mean, quite literally. Tank blatantly said it in the interview. He's in the hotel room. They're doing the interview with ESPN. He turns around to Garcia and says to him, "You can't eat now. You can't eat now." So he's telling him. He's telling him. And he knows it. And in the interview, Garcia looked weak. I get what you're saying. He's the B-side. This is a B-side standard. That's it. That trilogy transformed Tyson irreversibly. Of course. The Caldino, I don't know too much. I've always rated Joe Caldino, but I don't know about this fight tonight. Sorry, I haven't looked into it. If boxing was a league sport, of all our favorite fighters with unbeaten records would have losses on their record because psychologically it would not be possible to have hard fights and not hit a wall. Yeah, that's a point there, man. Fury triggered by Wilder saying easy KO without the preservatives, LOL. Garcia memes incoming, LOL. Oh yeah, of course they're incoming. Of course they're incoming. But let me tell you something. Now. If this sensationally backfires and Garcia lays out Tank cold in the first 2-3 rounds, if he knocks Tank Davis out, tell me about it. If Garcia knocked him out, what would you say? A weight drain Garcia knocked out Tank Davis. Can you imagine? Adam Smith. Garcia looking ready, but tonight will be a realization of the dream, or will it lead to a nightmare? All these undefeated records are nothing but promotional hype created for television. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right, let me exit from here now. Guys, thank you. Guys and girls, thank you so much for watching as always. These sparring tours. Now, I don't know about Usyk getting KO'd by Bwtm in sparring. I don't know about that bit. I know that Dubois was getting punched up in sparring by Povetkin. I know that much. That's why I was able to tell people about Dubois versus Joyce. I don't know anything about that fight, mate. I don't know. I can't give you an answer on that one. Sorry, I'll have to look at them both. All right. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the boxing tonight. If Davis gets knocked out, his career is virtually over. PBC would never be able to rebrand him. Yeah, that's it. That is it. Bwtm said it. Now, Bwtm said a lot of things. Bwtm said he'd be able to knock out Hunter. What happened to him? Bwtm says a lot of things. He's got to say something, isn't he, Bwtm? He's got to say something. He's another one likes to fight with his face. He's Joe Joyce Mark II, but even worse. Guys, take care. This has been Bwtm Sports Gaming as always. Thanks for watching.